Everybody, you know what I'm here for. The plot for episode 5. I know this is the longest it took. Well, it's because this episode is coming out in 4 days, so I need to get this plot starting soon. And this is so far going to be the longest one. If it's not, then I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story. So basically, it's going to start out with the members arguing about the adventure. Caine had, we'll just say a movie theater adventure, but they didn't want to do a movie theater adventure, so they were arguing of what to do the adventure. But until Caine had an idea, until Caine had an idea where if nobody was going to go on one adventure, they'll have to go on 4 adventures. So until Zool decided to walk out, trying to skip the adventure, but until Caine teleported her into this white void. Until he said, "Zool, please, can you just go on an adventure?" Until the both of them start arguing, but until Bubble appears, I'm not really sure, but Caine eventually somehow convinced her to go on the adventure until he plays her back. Until he says, "Well, everybody, I hope you have a fun time on the adventure," until he opens up the portal until it sucks everybody in. Until they all teleport in the in a base in a softball stadium. Until they're all confused, but until they see who their opponents are, it's literally opposites of them. There's Palmer, Zoomble, Sailor Man, Pink Orb. Okay, I'm not naming all of them. I'm just gonna call them evil virgins. But until Gangle notices that there's not one for her. So, until the first stop, it was Ragasa. Ragasa was going to go against her clone until King says, "Don't worry, Ragasa, I believe in you." And until Ragasa says, "Well, I'm not really sure," but until instantly she gets hit in the head with a ball. Until evil Ragasa says, "You're supposed to hit the ball, freak." Until Ragasa says, "Hey, that's not that nice." Until evil Ragasa said, whatever. You're just a lazy, dumb F. If all you do is just sit around and do nothing. Next up is it's Palmy's turn with her clone. She says, wait, so how am I supposed to play this? The evil Palmy says, just get on it with ready. But until evil Sailor Man Kinger was cheering for evil Palmy. So basically, Palmy so Palmy hit the ball, throws the ball, and evil Palmy aggressively hits the ball back, and Palmy has to try to catch it, but instead of catching it, she gets hit by it. Okay, so basically, next up is Jack's turn until Jack says, why is my clone so nervous? Until his clone says, I don't know. I just don't know. Until Jax easily wins that. Next up is Zubal's turn. Her clone was just acting dumb. So Zubal easily wins that. Next up is Gangle versus Orbsman. So Gangle was still confused why there wasn't a evil clone for her, but there was for Orbsman. Until the coach decides to replace Gangle with original orbs. Man, until Gangle had to sit on the court, but since Gangle basically got disqualified, the other team gets an extra point for winning twice. It is because you understand the joke, okay? You understand the joke. Until it was finally Kinger versus Kinger, but Kinger forgot who was Kinger, and the main crew members lost. Yeah, but evil Palmy is like aggressive. Evil Ragasa is rude, cocky. Evil Jax is not really evil. He's like nervously, but we're still gonna call him evil Jax. Evil Kinger, he is like he looks like a sailor man. You can't tell me that he doesn't look like some sort of sailor man. It reminds me of Popeye. No, not the food Popeye, like the cartoon Popeye. But basically, Orbsman, I guess he's angry. And Zubal's clone, I guess she's dumb, since That's basically what it is. I'm excited for all of the new Zooble designs, by the way, because Zooble's my favorite character. If it was my favorite boy character, it would be Jax. If it was my favorite girl character, then Zooble. But basically, Ponytail, since they failed that adventure, they have to retake another one. Now the adventure is this mafia thing. I don't know. I have notes taking down. Okay, guys, expect this to be perfect. Okay, I have notes written down so I can at least remember some of it. Even though I do remember all of it. Okay, whatever. Basically, next up is this mafia thing. Till everybody gets in their mafia. Well, actually, everybody is already in their mafia outfit. Because I forgot that someone can't take off. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to discuss into that. But basically, Jax was excited of this adventure. He was hoping that this would be better than that weird softball adventure. But until Jax asked for some kind of vegetable, guess what? But until everybody was confused why you would bring a vegetable to a bar. But whatever. Zooble just slapped a piece of corn on there, and Jax freaked out. He literally freaked out, and he literally just pulled out a gun and started shooting at it, acting like that it was Satan. What's that noise outside? Somebody probably just fell down or something. But it sounded like a firework. Okay, whatever. But either way, or where was I? Oh yeah, the mafia thing. Until Zooble was confused why he was freaking out. Everybody was just asked him, even Ragatha, which is usually not on his side, so he finally confesses it. While they're on the table, he finally confesses it. He's afraid of corn. Everyone is surprised that the jerky guy was afraid of corn. Ragatha asks why, and everybody just turned to her. And Jax says, "Don't worry about it. Let's just move on until Zooble said, okay, but you should actually try some real alcohol. We have beer and white wine and so much more." Yep. But now they're going to decide to rob somebody, but let's just say it didn't really go to plan. But until they failed that adventure, somehow they failed the mafia adventure. So basically, sorry about that, I have no idea what's going on with my internet connection. I hope this thing stays for long. If this thing goes out one more time, I might punch a hole in the wall. But I did delete some apps. I think I had too many apps. Okay. But where were we? Oh yeah. So Jax was just frustrated by the fact that he kind of well, like it's gonna have to end soon since I don't want it to like run out of space again, apparently. So this is not gonna be the longest one, apparently, but either way, but that was like frustrated, but until now, since they failed the adventure, they have to be teleported to a different adventure. They get teleported to this president office. Luke was just sitting by the door while Jax just hit her, but with this like weird outfit on. But basically, yeah, but basically, Tommy was just doing some president stuff while Jax decided to cause some chaos in the city, where Pommy was confused on why so much trouble happening in the city. Jack just smirked at the camera, of course, like he always does. But either way, sorry, it's just okay. Focus. But until Pommy noticed that it has to be one of the crew members, so she asked the most stupidest question ever: Who was the one who caused all the chaos? Probably the most stupidest question ever, because there can only be one answer. Ragasa. And Zubul. And Gangle. And Caine. No, okay, I'm done with the joking. It's Jax, of course. But until they all get in a fight, but until, guess what? They failed the president. Off an adventure. Until Caine is starting to get fed up, but until he brings all the character into this white void of where he plays Zubul, but until he grabs all of them and just starts telling them why aren't they finishing the event? Why aren't they doing well on the adventure like they used to? Until Jack says there's too much chaos, and also they find out that I'm scared of corn. But basically, Caine decided to make a whole entire musical of why adventures are the best things ever. There was a whole, until he started playing a whole musical, but until everybody was fed up with him, until he says, you know what, Jax, you get to decide the adventure. And everybody starts booing, since who wants Jax to pick the adventure? Till he says they're expecting like a cop and robbery adventure. He's expecting for like that piano thing to happen. No, he decided to go for a hunting adventure. People didn't think that would not be that bad, but until they realized that he was going to be like the main hunter. But until they all teleported to the hunting thing, but there's gonna start like camp. But until for episode 4, Jax starts eating alive. What is this? What's that? Like, that's for real. What this piece of paper says. Yeah. Jax is taking revenge by eating Gango's arm, but until Ragasa stops him immediately, but until he gives a full speech about the hunting adventure, but until I'm not gonna explain it all, but they go on they go on hunting, they go hunt. But until it was going to be nighttime, but until Jax decided to just leave, intended to sit outside, but until Tommy and Ragasa decided to come in, but until Ragasa says, "What's wrong, Jax? Is it that you're afraid of corn?" But until Jax just looks up at her and says, "No, just go away." Until Ragasa says, "Wait, no, I didn't mean to do that, but why are you sitting out here all by yourself? You're usually through." But until Jax says, it's not just, it's me. It's me. Problem's me. So Ragasa says, well, everybody, I think it's kind of the same thing for me. Everybody always expects me to be what they want, but nobody ever asked me of who I wanted to be. So but Jax gets a alert on his hunter outfit that there's one more animal that they all had to hunt. So all 6 of them has to apparently hunt this beluga whale. I have no idea why, but they have to go underwater they get like covered with like seaweed and stuff. But Attell, guess what? They actually do end up killing the beluga whale, but there's like 100 other beluga whales that show up. But Attell, 5 of the crew members, Gangle, Zubul, Kinger, Regatha, and Jax, all quickly swim to the portal, but Attell, Pommy got stuck on a piece of seaweed, and she decides to make the whole sacrifice on her leg, and decides to grab a knife, and then she gets teleported back to the circus and just lands on the floor until she gasping for air while the other ones just walk out. But until all 6 of the crew members all finally all be thankful for Caine's dumb adventures. You're a dumb adventure. Ow. Sorry, Caine. Okay. Everybody, that will have to be the end of the video. So, sorry. These like plot videos and digital circus videos always take so long to make. But I want to keep doing them since this is my favorite show. Even better than Murder Drones. Yeah. This might be my favorite show of all time. Yes, even better than Peppa Pig and Bluey. And you know what? And to be honest, I think that this show might even be better than Verbal Ace's music. And I love Verbal Ace's music. That's like one of my favorite type of music. I listen to it every day. And that's not a joke. I literally do listen to it every day. I put in my headphones and just start blasting Puppet Beat Boss Battle music on every night. My family's asleep, and trust me, they cannot stand it. Like they're like Zubul when I put on Verbal Ace's music, but well, not all the time. Actually, pretty nice. But I'm just imagining them. But either way, that will have to be the end of the video, everybody. Bye! Have an amazing day.